Hi everybody, I'm Lia Bartha and I created Be The Method, which is a Pilates-inspired, core-focused, low-impact workout designed to focus on alignment and mobility and functional strength, very deep connection of the mind and body. So we kind of work from the inside out, so we know that when we start to really find this nice depth of the inside, it resonates into the outside. So I'm here exclusively with Poosh to talk you through some of my favorite types of low-impact workouts for alignment and deep core connection. So to start out, we're going to do some core activation, some nice transverse abdominis work while still aligning the body and trying to connect through the glutes with some nice footwork. So we're going to start on top of our backs. You're going to lay yourself all the way flat. We're going to take your hands out to the side and find a nice T shape with your hands. So before we begin, we want to find a nice neutral pelvis. So stretch out through the body, deep connection through the transverse abdominis. Arms are out to the side. You're going to let your head hang heavy here and just try to relax your face and relax your jaws while we take one knee at a time up into tabletop. We're going to hold for a second and your knees are going to be about hip distance apart. Nice stretch through the arms. We're going to start with just a little bit of footwork to align the feet and align the body here. Flexing the right foot, pointing the toe. Let's go flex of the left and then point. So we're going to keep switching from one foot to the next, feeling how it activates a little bit more core depth here. We're going to also try to get into that pelvic floor region here by connecting through the inner thighs, feeling just a little bit of heat happening there, feeling this oppositional stretch out through your head. And let's go flex and point and flex. Let's do one more each side. And then last one. And now we're going to flex the right foot. We're going to do a little dip down to the floor, lift back up to center, and then point the toe. So flexing the left, tiny dip down, lift, and then point. So you can feel how the movement here starts to activate a little bit of a different depth of core muscle. So very core focused, but also really finding this nice stretch through the body, a nice alignment of the spine here. You can also try to feel with that flex how you can maybe turn off the front of your leg and turn on the back of your leg. So maybe a little glutes here. We'll play around with that in the next series as well. Let's go down. And let's keep going. And flex. Let's do one more on each side. So you can kind of continue to find your range of motion here. Maybe it's just a little dip, maybe it's a little bit bigger. And now we're gonna flex the right foot. We're gonna push out on the heel, draw the knee in, and then point. Let's go flex of the left, push it out. So now I want you to feel as though you're pushing your heel up to the ceiling. That activates the glutes and the hamstrings and behind your leg and kind of gives your quads and your hip flexors a little bit of a break here. We really want to treat this as a very full body exercise, mind included. So it really kind of has this nice element of connecting everything through alignment and toning of the body and very deep functional strength. And let's go here. Flex. And then one more. And now we're going to flex the feet. We're going to squeeze the heels together and then open up the knees into a nice diamond shape. Hands come behind your head, little mini curl looking up to your core, but still keeping a nice neutral pelvis here. So a nice drop of the tailbone down. What we're going to do is squeeze the knees together. We're going to open up the knees, do a little dip down to the floor, back to center. So go squeeze and open and dip. So still finding this nice alignment through the center of your body. But now what we're doing is we're mobilizing the hips a little bit. So I want you to think external rotation of those hips, deep connection in the low abdominals. When you ground your tailbone down here, you start to feel how it becomes some glute work as well. We have 3 more. And in 2 more here. A nice flex of your feet. And 1 more. And then in, draw your knees into your chest and you can give yourself a little hug. So our next series of exercises are going to be in our hands and our knees, and we're going to target a little bit of glutes and outer thighs and inner thighs while also really strongly connecting through the core and finding alignment in the body. So let's start on your hands. We're going to take your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Knees are directly underneath your hips, and we're going to give yourself just a little soft bend of the elbows, so center points facing forward so that we can really activate lats, core, transverse abdominis, so this course, that muscle that's very, very important here, we're gonna keep finding that nice soft connection through here, and we're gonna find length out of the spine in neutral. So stretching out through the tailbone here. We're gonna take your left leg, we're gonna open it up out to the side, and then we're gonna flex the foot, push it back, parallel leg, and we're gonna find length out through opposite directions. So as you're pushing your leg outwards behind you, we're gonna try to feel energy out of the top of the head in the opposite direction. So we're really treating this as a very full body exercise in alignment while really deeply getting to layer upon layer of deep muscles here to kind of find strength from the inside out. So when we connect on a deeper level on the inside, it really resonates on the outside. Let's go open and then flex and push. Let's keep going here. And then stretch. Let's do 3 more. And then stretch and push it out. 2 more here. And then stretch. Last one. Open. And then we're going to flex and hold here. You're going to go to little tiny pulses. And I want you to feel like the pulse comes a little bit more from that smile area underneath your glute, less about the foot here. Okay, so it's stretching through the spine, finding a really nice deep connection there in the glute. Let's do 3, 2, and then 1. Dropping that knee down. Let's find your way over to the other side. So let's take right leg out, flex, push it back in alignment. So we're really focusing on how we can align the spine, very functionally move and find a really nice depth of strength here. So we're using just our body to create extra resistance through space. Can you hear the challenge in my voice? Definitely is not easy. It is very mindful, and when you really treat it as a little bit more inner, it becomes so much more challenging. Let's do a few more here. Pushing it out. We have 3 more. Really pushing out on that heel. Good. 2 more. Pushing it out. And last one. And then we're going to stretch it out. We're going to flex that foot. Tiny pulses up, and remember, it's not coming from your foot. It's coming that smile area underneath where your glute and your hamstring connect. It changes the movement completely when you make it a little bit smaller. You find that connection there. Let's do 3, 2, and then 1. Dropping it down. Let's sit yourself back into a child's pose for just a second. And then we're going to roll up through the spine. Make your way back onto your hands and knees. We're going to take your left leg out behind you. One more time here. I want you to flex the foot. We're going to open up the hip. We're going to do a tiny lift of that leg. Turn it parallel. So we're going to open up the hip, tiny lift, and then parallel. And now is where you really want to find that deep core challenge, that glute challenge here to lift your legs. So it's not about the foot. It's really about that outer thigh, inner thigh, pelvic floor, and core here. Open. 2 more here. And then 1 more. We're going to lift. We're going to do tiny pulses up with an open hip here, just the tiniest little pulse. Keep going through here. Feel the core, feel the glute. 3 more, 2 more, and then 1 more. Dropping it down. Now let's stretch through the opposite leg, flexing that foot, lengthening out through your head. Let's open up the hip and then parallel. So we're really mobilizing mostly from the hip, creating just a little bit of twisting, really stretch through the head. 3 more. 2 more here. And then 1 more. And now we're going to open it up and we're going to hold here. Tiny pulses up. Just little tiny pulses through here. You can really feel this nice full body alignment. Stretch in opposite directions. And let's do 3 and 2 and then 1. Dropping it down. Let's open up your knees. Sit yourself into a really nice child's pose. Whew, take a couple of deep breaths. Has a little bit of that cardio element as well. It becomes very full body. And then we're going to roll up straight through the center here, finding your alignment, peeling through the body. And then let's roll your shoulders back. And you're all done. Great job, and thanks for joining me.